Yeah.
What's up, YouTube? Kyron back up in here with another video. Today we are doing a tasting plus fashion hot takes. So gonna be pouring up some natural wine and also going through some of the questions that I put up on my story and also on Nolan's story, going through some fashion hot takes, some really good ones. Yes, we're filming this at the end of the video, but in the YouTube landscape of things, you're watching this at the beginning. So
we get to rerun that still.
Yeah. We're gonna give everyone a little intro, let you guys get a bit familiar with some of the guests that I have here today. So we're gonna start with Nolan. Give the people a little breakdown of what you do.
How you doing, folks? My name is Nolan Daniel White. I do most of my content creation on TikTok, but feel free to check me out if you need any recommendations or anything like that. I moved to Montreal a little bit ago and then met up with these two fine gentlemen. And we decided to plan this video together. And my taste in wine has gotten a lot better thanks to this guy. So we each brought a bottle and yeah, we answered a couple questions.
Yeah.
What's up, guys? My name is Max. Just want to say thank you to Kyron for having me, and pleasure to be with these two guys. So I do natural wine events in Montreal through GGG, Good Wine, Good Music, Good Friends. So we do events, curation, and tastings, and yeah, I'm here to contribute and drink some good wine with my good friends. And like we said before, no good music.
Yeah, I need that money. I need that advertising money.
Jackson Triggs Winery.
Yeah, this is from the great depeneurs of Montreal. We got the Wallaroo Trail.
This video is sponsored by Jackson Triggs. Taste the grape.
Taste the grape, man. Oh, I missed a sip.
Are we filming? Yeah, so just to let you guys know, so this is what we're drinking first.
You can bring it up closer.
Yeah, so this is Brutal. Brutal is like a movement in the natural wine industry where basically some of the best makers in the natural wine world all take turns kind of making their own version of Brutal. This is from Alex Craighead from New Zealand. It's like a light orange wine, so that means like skin contact on the grape. As you can see the color. So it's technically a white wine. It's Pinot Gris, Sauvignon, Pinot Blanc, I think. And yeah, it's a field blend, white, very light and crisp.
Yeah,
I don't know how you
far me on the nose too.
Yeah, I don't know how you guys feel about it.
No, I like
it. I like it.
Yeah.
Good introduction.
Yeah.
Exactly. And actually, this was featured at my first wine event, actually.
Yeah.
So it's a bit, full circle.
Nostalgic.
Yeah, so I had to bring it back for this occasion.
No,
so
for sure.
It's a good one.
All right, cool. So I screenshotted a few, but I think Nolan's are more like daring or like
More
exciting.
thoughtful, yeah.
So I guess we could go through them, whichever one you want to
start with.
Yeah. We
All
can
right,
do it.
let's see.
How many did you screenshot?
I have a good amount.
Yeah. Okay. We're gonna do this in chapters. So I think we'll do like a first round. I don't know how many.
Chapter 1's called Brutal.
Yeah. Chapter 1's called Brutal. And then as we progress along the bottles, each one of us got one. So we're just gonna break it down. Each one of us got one natural wine that we found interesting, and then we're gonna answer a few hot takes per bottle in chapters. So you guys will progressively see our journey along. So
Our journey.
Cinematic masterpiece.
it is,
Yeah.
honestly.
A lot of thought went into this. Okay, number 1 from good friend, fantastic fit thrower, the Inhibitionist. Chrome Hearts is a tax on those with more money than taste.
Hot take.
Hot take.
Hot take.
Scalding. Searing.
Yeah, what were you saying before? You said that the clothing, you agree.
I think there's a bit more like nuance to it.
Yeah.
I think the jewelry, obviously you can get silver jewelry for cheaper than Chrome Hearts.
Guaranteed, yeah.
But like you are paying for the craftsmanship there.
Yeah.
But I'm not gonna lie, if you're spending 5 bands on some Levi's with some little religious symbolry on there, yeah, it's a tax.
Yeah, it's
That's
a tax.
That's the wealth tax.
No, for sure.
In and of itself. So yeah, like t-shirts, jeans, They'll put their hits on of some nice hardware on stuff though. Like I've seen them do some nice shirt buttons. I think their leather is pretty nice.
Yeah.
But like nobody's buying Chrome Hearts for the value.
Yeah, no. it's like a pairing of like the quality meets the branding, and I feel like that's like with any brand really.
Yeah, like it's designer at the end of the day.
Yeah.
But for like, people who are, you know, spending hundreds if not thousands of dollars on like sweatpants, hoodies, I totally agree that.
Yeah, well, like you said, and also, there are pieces from Chrome Hearts that are like very nice and more like elevated, but like the main thing that people think of when it comes to Chrome Hearts, like clothing, as a more of like kind of like without having so much fashion knowledge, you're gonna think of like like they're over branded like hoodies or like sweats or the denim.
Yeah.
So kind of agree, but definitely the jewelry is. You know, I don't think. Well,
like,
Karen's
the jewelry and the furniture, I would say, is like what.
If you got the money for the furniture.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like,
and that's like all like levels, you know, too. So.
Yeah. And the first piece that I bought into was the jewelry. It wasn't even the clothing or anything. The clothing's kind of like originally what I saw it as. It's like more of like marketing for the brand.
Yeah,
and that's exactly what it's
money
doing.
maker.
Yeah,
like they can.
It's like a billboard.
And I don't think that's a bad thing either. You know what I mean? Like it's designer clothing, and like a lot of brands kind of have that appeal as well, where it's like
the logo.
There's gonna be things that like sell more. You know, you can think about any brand. You know, there's the pieces you'll see like maybe more often aren't the best pieces that are like available from that brand. You know.
For sure.
Yeah, it's like runway pieces aren't what's sold in store. It's t-shirts, you know, like Gucci.
Or like a Balenciaga, like you're gonna see mostly like like logos and like just hoodies. Like we were just watching that video, like the ripped up Balenciaga hoodie. Then you look at someone like hired in your closet and the pieces you purchased from Balenciaga. It's like a whole. You know what I mean? It's like you wouldn't even
No, it's true.
To the regular person, you know, they're not gonna understand that.
Yeah, like the makeup or the crafts.
The nuances of the design.
For sure. You have another one?
Okay, next up. You need money to dress. Hard disagree. Hard disagree.
Yeah, guaranteed. No, because like I feel like I was able to. Everyone's knowledge kind of starts with like interest, right? So like the moment you find interest, you don't necessarily have all the resources in the world. Not everyone, at least. Like there's obviously privileged people, but like when I first got into fashion, I was like 14, so like I had no like money at all. I was just like getting what I could. It was like a lot of skatewear at the time, or like thrifted pieces and stuff like that, and that's like on the max end $40 to $100, and like I was still making it work, you know. So yeah,
definitely.
Yeah, I don't think you need money to
I think it's also proven by the amount of people with money that dress terribly.
Yeah.
In fact,
it goes back to the last question.
Yeah,
almost, you know?
Some of the worst fits I see are on rich people.
Yes.
And I think on top of that, I think not only that, but like that point about like money definitely doesn't buy taste, and also for people who get into fashion with like near unlimited resources, I find end up having bad taste over a long period of time, because like they're not challenged with a budget constraint. Whereas if you're given a budget constraint, then you have to get creative. Like you have to thrift, or you have to find some vintage online, or you have to put more thought into dressing well. I think it's harder, there's more barriers, but if you're willing to dedicate, you know, if you choose to dedicate the time towards improving your style, then it doesn't matter how much money you have, you're gonna be able to do it if you put the time in. And in the long run, you're gonna have far better style, because you weren't able to just go to the mall and hire a personal shopper to like ball out on $10,000 worth of stuff.
Literally, just like cascade your whole image.
Exactly, because then you don't have to think about it. You know, like you could do that in an afternoon.
Yeah.
Whereas if you have to like put some real thought to what you're putting on your body and what you're putting in your wardrobe, like you're gonna find out what you like a lot. You're gonna be a little more true to yourself.
Yeah, I think that's one of the reasons why I enjoy living in Montreal so much too, is because it's like it might not be a fashion capital, but like a lot of people are faced with that challenge of just being a product of your environment, a product of your resources, and a lot of people just thrift out here. It's like a really big thrift culture.
You can see some like some people dress like very unique, and it's like it's better than than wearing just like Zara or like big, you know, like following like kind of just corporate. Like these big brands. I think it's like also like it's like striking the balance. I think the people who dress the best are the people who like balance like designer with like vintage or thrifted pieces.
High-low.
High-low, and like obviously like you don't need money to have style, but it definitely like helps. But once again, it's all about like investing in like what you kind of like finding your way in fashion, finding what pieces like suit you the best, like your silhouette. And through that, it doesn't mean like you need to have designer pieces.
For sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I agree.
All right.
So it's crazy.
Fucking somebody hurt this person.
Somebody got really hurt.
Monochromatic fashion / interior design is a visual communication of insecurity. Scathing hot. That's
It's such a round statement.
I don't know where that came from.
I don't know.
I don't know where that comes from.
It's
I don't
kind of
see the
hyper
connect.
specific to a certain extent.
I feel like
I feel like that comes from a very personal experience.
Yeah, I feel like
that I can't relate to.
This is funny. I'm gonna relate with like not even relate. I'm just gonna like bring Fernando into this. It's like I feel like someone had like a archive boyfriend that like dressed in all black, and like she just got really hurt by this man. You know what I mean? But like don't let that hurt you, man.
Mm-hmm. It's
You
okay.
can just all in one color and you'll be all right, you know. But I don't think that's necessarily true. I feel like I mean a lot of people that do the all black thing are like
it could be a means of like keeping your style like kind of like
uniform,
uniform, and also like the fact that like sometimes wearing like all black is like a statement of kind of like longevity, or like the fact that like black is always gonna, you know what I mean, like most wearing colors is usually like season to season and what's like trending, you know, so it's a bit more difficult. Well, not difficult, but like some people just prefer to like keep like the uniform, I guess.
Well, and like back to the affordability element that we were talking about last time, it's like another thing is like, one, if your aim is to learn more about personal style, then if you take color out of the equation, you know, like a big part of putting fits together, you understand, you know, silhouettes a lot easier, you understand cuts a lot better, you can understand textiles, details, draping. You're taking something out of the equation which you can add back later. And on top of that, if you're just getting into it, and I say this like as someone who dresses pretty colorfully most of the time, like you can have half the pieces in your closet and still have way more outfits.
Oh yeah.
Because they're all gonna go together. You know, like you're taking one thing out of the equation, a lot of more stuff is gonna work. You know?
Yeah. There's a lot of like puzzle piecing to do with that, you know.
And like, I don't get where like the insecurity thing comes from, because
That's true. I feel like that's the one thing we're like missing in like
it feels like again
about.
This is where like it feels like a
it's-
jab, like somebody's
it feels like they think that there's like a lack of character in people that are so
maybe
like,
that's
simple,
like maybe,
simple focused, I guess.
Yeah.
Like, but or they think they're one dimensional. But like I don't know.
There's a lot more to it than that.
Yeah,
like
because like what you said is like, what if a person dresses in all pink? Does that mean they're one dimensional?
Yeah, we mentioned that before, because like I'm sure this person's probably referencing someone that wears all black.
Yeah.
But like, what if you're like someone that wears like only neon like monochromatic like outfits every day? Like you're wearing neon tracksuits. Like Monday you wear the pink, and then Tuesday you wear the yellow, and then Wednesday's the green. So it's like someone if you saw someone wearing a fully pink outfit, you'd probably be like, whoa, this person has hella character. Like this person's lit.
That
like,
guy looks insecure.
You're gonna think like they're actually like the probably the most like, you know, secure person with themselves, because they're comfortable wearing that kind of crazy kind of coloration for a full fit.
And like also I feel like what's inherent or like implied in this is that like color is what makes something interesting. But I've definitely seen some all black fits where it's like that's like way out of left field.
Oh, for
like,
sure.
You know, it's like, you know, dude can be wearing like a Yoji skirt. I'm not gonna think, oh, he's insecure. Like no,
that's
like,
so true. Yeah.
Like, or you could wear like Rick Kiss boots all
Yeah,
black.
exactly.
I mean, like that's there's no insecurity there. That's like bold.
I
Like,
definitely see
that's a
some
statement.
Rick lovers like that people wear full Rick, and like they're just, it's usually black, and it's could be viewed very, you know, out there, you know.
Definitely.
All right.
You're good. Next one. Yeah.
Next up, skinny jeans are wildly overhated and will always have a place in fashion. Jacob Marvin.
This is a really good. I love this.
This is a very
one.
good. I like this.
I like this one a lot.
Yeah.
That's a good. I don't know how to feel about it, because right now
The climate's different. That's
yeah,
what
the
it
client.
is.
Yeah, exactly. And I think the difference is I don't mind skinny, but not skinny. It's like obviously the wide leg is like super in, and straight leg. But like I think skinny, the levels of skinny we've seen in the past is like abusive. Like it's too much.
Yeah.
But like I think skinny jeans, like the jeans I'm wearing right now, like they're not.
They're slim.
They're slim.
Yeah,
So I think
yeah.
slim is
But we're
like
talking
except-
like we're talking skinny. Like,
But
like
what if
SLP.
this person?
SLP.
We're talking SLP. Like
Okay, yeah, I can't get behind it.
I
No,
honestly,
right?
I
Yeah.
agree, because like
Okay,
right
behind
now, and like this is something like I probably, I don't think I'll ever wear skinny jeans again.
Yeah, that's what
a
I'm
personal
saying.
note,
I
on a
fully
personal
agree.
note,
I
you
fully
know?
agree.
It's like, yeah, I've never felt more comfortable than I have in these last 2 years.
Of the boom,
full
of the
fit.
wide.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I'd like to keep it on track.
Yeah.
Yes.
So going against my personal interests, I'm gonna say that I agree with the statement, because like everybody, like people are like radically anti skinny jean.
Yes.
And to be fair, it's like when I look back at how a lot of people were putting the fits together in like 2016, 2017, it's like I'm not a fan of that. But extrapolating that, it's like if you look at how rock stars were dressing in the 80s, like the punk scene, like there's, you know, skinny jeans were huge in that. And if you look at the way that like those outfits go together, I think there's definitely a way to incorporate it even now that's like super
but
relevant,
I think like you
super
said though,
fashionable. But if we're talking about like in general, but like again, if we're talking like in the fashion world, in terms of like, are skinny jeans good? Yes or no? I'm gonna say yes. But like for the average person that doesn't want to put a ton of effort into dressing or whatever, I think we went a little far. You know?
No, for sure. Because like I think even in the landscape of like what we consume, let's say like we all fuck with rap music, right? Everyone within that is still like in that breath of like wearing skinnier denim or like something that's easy to wear. And I remember being in that mentality of like I didn't put any of my money into bottoms for like years. Like I was happy wearing the same Acne black skinny jeans for like years and years and years. I was buying a bunch of tops, sneakers, accessories, everything else, but like the jeans, I was just like, oh, like I like these. It's like routine. And I feel like a lot of other people are like that right now, but it's like subtracted or replaced with Amiri or like Saint Laurent or anything else like that. It's kind of like an afterthought, or like they just feel safe and comfortable in this one space. But it depends on like what makes you comfortable, what makes you like feel like flattered, right? So like,
that's interesting. I feel like that's a good point. I feel like, because now that I think about it too, it's like I feel like in like like hypebeast era, like peak Supreme era, nobody thought about about bottoms, pants, shorts, like that was just like filling in space. But it was just about like, what jacket do you have? What sweatshirt? What hoodie? What tee? You know, like. But now I feel like now people are a little more cognizant of how, because I do think like pants make a good outfit.
Oh, for sure.
You know?
Like I think the pants is one of the first.
Well, I think it like
it's
like people like definitely I feel like sets up your outfit. But my issue with the skinny jeans is because like you guys kind of both reference, like you think about like the punk scene or like rock stars, like you think about Mick Jagger, like within that space and those outfits, it looks amazing. But the issue I have with skinny jeans right now is like the way you see it being worn, like because you'll see like Amiris with the chunky Balenciaga sneaker, and it's like it looks really like it's not. I think skinny jeans with it, and once again, I know I have like friends like you know in like maybe in the punk scene or like you know more like, and like the way in the context of that, it's very acceptable. But I think the way I see skinny jeans, it's like usually like just really like not well done. And then I'll see like even people, I think skinny jeans are popular like still at like Zara's and the H&M's, you know, so people who aren't into fashion will wear skinny jeans a lot. And I feel like once again, I think skinny jeans could be worn properly. And then also once again back to silhouette and like how you're like, you know, your body type. Some people like look great in skinny jeans, but that takes like, you know, maybe if someone's like taller, taller, more slim, like models like would look.
Like looking back now, like I know like I didn't look good in
I look back
because all of our body types, like we all don't probably like look the best.
It's not flattering.
Like as slim as I'll go is like flattering.
Exactly. So I don't find skinny jeans flattering on the way most people wear them. So that's the reason why I don't like skinny jeans. And I wouldn't. So flatter. You know, it's important to like be, you know, to be comfortable in what you wear and be
mindful of like what you have, I guess. Right. It's a lot of people I think just like get comfortable with the landscape of fashion, and you're like, oh, like everyone's buying X, I'm gonna buy X as well.
Exactly.
And they don't think about what's best for them.
And they're fucking uncomfortable.
And like wide like pants that are more like fitted, like wide pants technically will look good on every body type because you don't need to be skinny, you know, so it's like realistically it's more flattering on everybody because it's more of a general fit that anybody could adjust to. But skinny jeans don't look good on everybody, I'm sorry to tell you guys. That was a good one. I like that one. I like that one. That was a good
We'll do this one last one for the chapter and
let's
then
do it.
The next one.
All right, from Mr. TPB Tyler. Often designer clothing, in air quotes, doesn't equate to quality in terms of garment creation.
I don't fully agree, but I think quality has like, depending on which brand, you know, depending on the brand, like Bodhi and like there's these brands that do like, you know, still doing like handmade garments and stuff, but they're obviously what they like kind of not to say industrial revolution, but obviously with like mass production and all that, even a lot of popular designer brands have like, you know, followed that route as well. And now even you'll find some designer brands aren't made like, you know, in Italy or like, you know, maybe they say it's made in Italy, but it's like the pieces like are from China, like the and then but it's like, you know, so they're allowed to say that, but realistically it's not.
And even then it's like something can be made shittily in Italy or really well.
Shittily,
that's true. Yeah,
there's bad factories everywhere.
And that's,
there's bad factories
because obviously
everywhere.
China actually
really
has
good
the
factories
best.
In China.
Yeah, exactly. That's true. They have like, you know, fast fashion all the way up to.
There's certain like expectations that people put on like where things are made.
Yeah,
like
that's
naturally where like
years,
and like over time I feel like people are starting to understand that you could get quality stuff out of anywhere no matter where it's made. But at the same time I think a lot of people equate quality to like different subjective natures. It's like some people think like quality's weight, some people think quality's like
so true.
It's like made in a certain place or
amount
like
of details.
amount of details or like how straight the stitching is. Like there's so many different things that people equate
fabric,
quality
like,
to.
How soft it is.
How soft it is. Yeah, there's so many things that people equate quality to, and then the moment that doesn't fit in their box, then they're like, oh, this is not worth the money. But it's like it's subjective, I think. It really depends on the person and what they're trying to pay for. But I
think it's one of those things where like, you know, it's like a square is a rectangle or what is it? Squares are rectangle, but not all rectangles are squares. You know, there is a certain, I'm sure there's some better term to describe that. But if you want a quality garment, there is a minimum that you are going to have to pay. You know, like if you get something off Shein, a $15 pair of pants is going to be bad. It's going to be bad. It is not physically possible along the supply chain to make a pair of pants for $15 that is going to last more than 2 washes.
Yeah. And a lot of people don't think of that. I think a lot of people naturally are just like, they think about what's best for them. They don't think about others. Like a lot of people are selfish. Yeah. When you go into a store, you're like, oh, $15 for, well, not in a store for this case, it's like Shein. So like, they go online, they see $15 pair of pants. They look at their bank account, they're like, this makes sense for like what I need and everything that I'm participating in. But at the end of the day, it's like, they aren't mindful of like, oh, who had to touch these clothes, who had to make these clothes, and like how much effort had to get put in order to get this end result. I think all of that is an afterthought, which is very sad to think at the end of the day. When it goes into designer, I think a lot of people are like, oh, if I'm paying this amount of money, I have to get gold and fucking diamonds and all this extra shit. But it's like, it really depends on what you want to pay for at the end of the day. It's like, what do you value? Do you value cuts? Like everyone values different things at a different scale. Like I think we were talking about people that like to fucking golf, like they'll pay $2,000 for a club, you know what I mean? But like they won't bat an eye at that. But some people will be like, that's absurd. You know? So it's like all what you value at the end of the day. So
And there are definitely like there are like brands that like that are independents and like, you know, like even like Ore or like brands like that where it's like obviously the price point like definitely more affordable than like designer brands, but like there you're gonna find quality, and there's like there's a lot of brands out there that maybe we all don't know about, you know, but they like, you know, maybe they make everything in the USA, you know what I mean? So there are brands that and maybe not considered designer brands because they're independent, you know, that offer like high quality, you know, garments that you might not even know of or we might not know of too. So.
And it depends on your definition of quality too, because like if your definition of quality is just durability, like you can go out and you can buy some really good quality workwear, you know, like a pair of like pants made in the USA, union made, heavy cotton, triple stitch, double knee, like that will last you forever if that's what your definition of quality is. If your definition of quality is softness, then like you can go and pick up a really nice $500 cashmere sweater. Like it depends on the aspects, but I would say like overall I would agree with the sentiment that like in the example you gave of like $15 pair of pants, like no way it can be good. But then with designer, like it depends on how you value it, but some people don't even question it, you know, like they have the inherent assumption that because this costs this amount of money, it has to be.
And then they're disappointed because they don't like, you know, maybe put in like the time to like maybe like research or understand, you know, what what they value as being something of quality.
And quality doesn't even have to be construction.
Like you
said. It can be fit, you know, like if a designer spent, you know, did 50 iterations of a t-shirt to get to the perfect t-shirt.
That's a great,
and people don't think about
all the overhead of that has to be priced in. Like if they're spending a ton of money on, it's the same reason like that's why Arc'teryx Valence is so expensive. Is because that's what like if they're doing a bunch of research on something, on a really, really highly technical garment, not making a lot of it, then that overhead has to be spread out over those limited units.
Yeah.
Whereas when Nike is doing research on a new running shoe that they're going to sell 2 million of, and they spend $50 million on a new like foam technology or whatever, like they can spread that out.
Exactly.
And it's going to be $200.
Yeah.
You know, it's not just the manufacturing cost, it's the marketing cost, which is for a lot of designers, like big designers, like Kering, LVMH designers, like, that's where a lot of your money off the price tag is going.
Yeah.
But also for a lot of these like boutique designers or more technical designers, there is an aspect that is, you know, like overhead, I guess.
Yeah. No, that's very true. All right, end of chapter 1. We're gonna go and collect ourselves, and then we'll get
And
to
open another
2.
bottle.
So we each bought a bottle. This is mine. It is lemonade. Get it up close.
On that. Oh, I'm gonna duck my head so that it doesn't autofocus.
Oh, good. All right, so this is from Day Wines out of Oregon, and it's
Dundee,
called...
Oregon. I love that. Maybe
And-
someone here is from Dundee. Who knows?
Dundee.
There's someone's
No.
gonna watch us from Dundee. I don't
Someone's
know.
like, hey,
I'm from Oregon at least.
Make some noise for Dundee, Oregon.
Shout out to you guys.
So the story behind this was is 2021 when the wildfires were going on. So it's called Lemonade because they basically had these Pinot Noir grapes that they couldn't really do what they planned with. So they turned it into this nice little light rosé. And yeah, so
It's Pinot Noir. It's Pinot Noir.
Yeah.
I don't know. I wonder how they got this color so
Right? That's
so
what I'm saying. It's like
so like
it's like a peachy pink.
yeah, it's very like it's just so like you think it'd have like cloudiness, but it's so.
It's crazy.
You know what's funny? It kind of reminds me of what we just drank a bit, like on the note,
Yeah.
like the nose, because it's like very like crisp and
It's
light,
got
but
it's got a bit more funk
farm.
to it, a bit like
Yeah.
cheesy, like,
Yeah.
like it's like a French cheese.
I think I get like a little farminess. Maybe it's from the fact that it's.
The farminess is more on the taste rather than the smell. I find like from the last one. The last one is more like aromatic.
This has
More body.
a lot of body.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is like it's a bit surprised. Like the color, it's really like
Deceiving.
deceiving.
Yeah.
What he is tasting. It's weird. I'm not. The notes are even like I'm like. What?
I'm getting
I don't-
peachy. Like
Yeah, I don't.
This might sound weird, but I get more like a bittery type of fruit. Like
I
more
agree.
like a raspberry or like that type of vibe.
I can't. I'm gonna have
We're
to.
gonna
We're
get,
gonna have to
like,
get back.
nectar.
Nectarine.
For some reason, I'm like, I don't know. I'm like, I'm like, what do I do? It's nice though.
cut
That
in
is
some
nice.
shots of the Ratatouille scene. With it.
all of that.
We'll do it in post.
Yeah. Can't do it on the fly, guys. We're not that advanced.
Full tracksuits, bracket, Nike Tech fleeces, close bracket are not the move.
Are
Fire,
not the
bro.
move.
Can we, is the
okay.
question
I
with-
feel like there's two
Yeah,
separate
there's two-
things. So
I
there's
agree.
full. Let's discuss full tech or track. To,
track.
track.
The one
Track.
Sorry, let me get a little more. My vocal cords need a little more.
Need some tuning.
need to tune them up. Little gas in the engine. Okay.
Yeah.
So tech fleece. How do we feel? Fuck them.
I respect it for like a London vibe. Like
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
You
like
need
a
to
cen-
be from the right. It's,
yeah,
it's a
like,
cultural thing.
like a Central C, like a Heady One type of vibe. Like you can't disrespect it because it's like
Mm-hmm.
it's so apparent in the culture.
Mhm.
I feel like there's certain like culturally ingrained
Yeah.
styles or like pieces that it's like if you have a fresh like Nike Tech tracksuit, like you're the man, you know, like
Yeah.
and if
Like-
you have like the crispiest Phasos or something like that whole fit is like
Yeah.
you're like god tier, you know. So like,
But that kind of goes. I feel like that also fits in with like similar to the Mick Jagger
yeah
argument with the skinny
Yeah,
jeans,
yeah.
where it's like if we're talking like white boy at Sejap with a perm.
yeah
Nah.
yeah it don't fit. It
Well,
doesn't fit the same.
yeah,
Out of context,
yeah, well,
you know?
yeah, we were speaking about this off camera just before because we were saying how sometimes you'll like look down at other people's style because it's like not your style, so you think like it's like you're above them because like you feel like you dress superior to them.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, once again, like most fashion takes, you know, it's all perspective, and I think it's so true. I think the people like, let's say in the UK or whatever, like people that like that can and should wear a Nike Tech fleece tracksuit.
Yeah.
It looks fly. Like, yeah, like you're gonna wear the Air Force Ones, they're crispy. Like, that's fly. Like, dude, like if you can do that and you should do that,
Do it
you
to the
look
core.
fly. Yeah, you
Yeah,
look
yeah,
fly.
all
Like,
the way.
but people who are like kind of posers in that,
Yeah.
you don't look that good. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
yeah.
For sure. So within context, fly.
Yeah.
It's fly.
Yeah.
And I'm a big, and back to like tracksuits in general, big supporter.
Yes,
Yeah,
I
you
agree.
got
And
I
that
don't
goes
think
back
there's
to the
enough.
monochromatic. I love it. Yeah, I agree.
I'm talking
I need
like-
a new, like I need a tracksuit.
Yes,
like, yo,
we need to bring back like Sopranos, like when they're posted up
the Adidas.
out front of Stracciatello's, no, like the Givenchy,
Oh,
like the
like-
90s Givenchy ones,
Well,
the
what's that?
velour with the pinstriping.
What's that vintage brand designer? And it's like Italian.
Riccardo Tisci?
Yeah, was it? No, not Tisci. It sounds like that. And they wear in the Sopranos too. The logo like kind of looks like Givenchy.
Not Cavalli.
Oh, we'll come
Yeah.
back to it.
Yeah.
I'll try to remember.
But anyway, yeah.
But yeah,
Tracksuits are
I'm
valid.
pro tracksuit.
Yeah.
I'm pro
Same here.
tracksuit. We need to bring it back.
Like even just like a nice like just like a little like even like just the Adidas jacket, track jacket,
Oh, of course.
fire. Like even with the pants, like
the Wales Bonner.
the Wales
stuff.
Bonner, like the
Yeah.
Wales Bonner, like that
Hard.
shit. Like if you like reinvent the silhouette a bit, like you made like a wide leg pant with like maybe even a crop jacket.
Yeah.
Like that'd be fire. Like
And that's
I'm,
like the
I'm
whole
a big,
thing, like even with like the whole like raver fashion of like like the Nike track bottoms and stuff like that. You do the whole suit, and you look fire too.
Mhm.
It's like the '90s and early 2000s silhouettes are like really in right now.
yeah, like the tracksuit. There's different iterations. So like
Mhm.
like there's like the modern like suit or like pieces that match together, and it doesn't exactly have to be a tracksuit, but I
Yeah.
feel like that's all in the same world, you know.
It's
So
true.
it's fire.
Yeah, it's very true.
Shout out to tracksuits.
Shout out to tracksuits.
Yeah, shout out to tracksuits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No one made a switch at all.
Huh?
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 I don't know what you're talking about.
Am I wearing a tracksuit right now? No,
I wish
right?
I was.
Yeah, me too.
Me
I
too.
wish you all were.
Yeah.
Rio.
What's the next one?
What's next?
That's a good question. I think I just gotta keep this on.
Yeah, you definitely do. I think it's the
Alright.
cozy attire.
Fashion would not be such a revered art form if it was accessible by all.
Wow. That's
So they're-
great. Who put that? That's
Oh,
a very
Socrates.
existential question.
But I would say
The issy.
It's the Issy wine drinking tracksuit.
I would disagree with that because I feel like that just applies to all art. You know, it's like they're basically saying that, you know, the reason why fashion is, you know, held so highly is because there's, you know, a constant undertone of wealth, of resources,
Elitism,
of
yeah.
elitism, of excess. But that's all art.
Yeah, that's
You know?
so.
Yeah.
If anything, like
I think
even
that's the
art, like
world,
paintings
yeah.
are even further away from
Exactly.
affordability,
Yeah.
and like you can't even. Most paintings aren't even like being able to be purchased. Like they're like in museums, and
They
like,
are
so
what
they're
they are,
less
yeah.
accessible to even fashion is.
Yeah. And it's one of those things where like I also think in the same vein like so I would say like that applies to all art.
Yeah.
Like yeah, sculptures, painting, music. Maybe not as much music, but still I think to a degree. I mean like music is generally more accessible.
Yeah.
But if you want to make music,
Yeah.
like there is still that same kind of idea
Or
that
the
like,
artists themselves. Are,
Oh
like,
yeah,
in
yeah.
it,
You go
can't-
like if you go watch a concert, like it's like elitism of like where you sit,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
or, like
or like being able
Yeah.
to do like a meeting room.
uh-huh, you know, yeah.
But I
there's a
still
bunch of
think
things.
like for art as a whole, and I think with this, like it still applies that yes, there is definitely like a sense of it that is defined by the price tag, you
Yeah.
know, and like some like inherent justification. Not that I agree with that,
Yeah.
but like some people will like something just because it's more expensive,
Mm-hmm.
but that doesn't mean that like you still can't access it and enjoy it the same
Or
way
like
that
work hard to like, you know, enjoy it. You know what I mean? 'Cause
Exactly.
you have to make things accessible for yourself. And like I feel like whoever put this question into perspective, I think it's a good question, but like I think where we should be looking at art from in all its forms from fashion or whatever is taste.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because taste is what like, you know, brings people to like what they gravitate towards, and like having taste. The truest form of art is like your own personal taste and creating your own taste.
you're definitive.
And not being like kind of like you said before, being like, you know, like X is popular.
Yeah.
I like X too. It's like being like, you know, your own individual
Yeah.
person, you know.
You make your own decisions, like at
Yeah.
the end of the day. It's like
Yeah.
no one else could
Yeah.
escape that for you.
Yeah.
And I would disagree because they say like they use the word revered. You know, it's like fashion is revered. So I would say like I don't think the reason why it is to the degree that it is because of the price aspect. I think it is because it is not only accessible by everybody, but it's inherent in how we live our lives.
True.
You know, it's like you don't have to have paintings on your walls,
Yeah.
but you
Yeah.
got to put on some fucking clothes
Yeah,
to go
it's
to
a
work.
necessity.
You know,
Yeah.
so like, and some people don't treat it that way. Some people treat it as like baseline utility, but even that in and of itself is an expression.
Yeah.
You know, even if you choose to wear something that serves no aesthetic function, that is a statement in and of itself.
You're still making a statement.
So I think it's revered
About
for the
yourself.
fact that it's like it is a baseline expression of who you are as a human, even in the absence of expression.
Because no matter what, you're always gonna be like projecting something.
Yeah,
like you're
something.
you're
Even if
as
you're
an
butt ass
individual.
naked, you're projecting something.
Yeah, like so as an individual, as yourself, like people are gonna like take cues from like your actions, the things you say, what you wear, and that could be like
We're humans, like we judge, you know. Like,
exactly, it's like no one's blank minded. Like everybody's
Yeah.
always gonna have an opinion.
Yeah, yeah.
That's a good. But good question.
That was a good question.
Good
I like
question,
that
though.
one. That's
Yeah.
a really good one. Very defined for sure.
Yeah.
This video is sponsored by the Church of Scientology. Sign up now for 10%.
Don't say that,
off
bro.
our
We're
store.
gonna be taken away.
What's the next one? Sorry.
All right.
Enough with it.
Enough with the Scientology.
Shout out to L. Ron Hubbard.
We get caught up.
Sometimes the drip is you. Put that shit on and prosper.
That you just have to let that sink in, everyone.
Let that
everyone,
sink in.
15 seconds of silence for that one.
I'm allowed to drink wine.
Shut up.
Can I drink wine?
You better fucking shut up.
15 seconds.
Shut
Come
the
on.
fuck
up. What was like 10 seconds? I thought, don't you?
It's okay, Max.
Wait,
All right, start over.
Wait for. Okay.
It's 30 seconds this time.
You better fucking let the drip prosper, man.
Let it prosper,
You,
bro.
you spoke to. You're the one who spoke this time, not me.
I think we let the drip prosper.
Do you think your drip is
I
prospering
think,
right now?
I think it is,
Prosperous, yeah,
honestly.
yeah,
Well,
yeah.
Nolan's clearly prospering.
Yeah,
So.
yeah.
Oh, damn, I got a tracksuit on.
How do you even realize that?
The tracksuit gods answered your prayer.
Damn, it blessed me up with that one.
Prospered you into a track.
R.I.P. James
Rest in
Gandolfini.
peace, James Gandolfini. Rest in peace, Issey Miyake. I'm sure
yeah.
they're cooking up some beautiful tracksuits up there. Next up, nothing made from synthetic fabrics ever looks good. Ha! Ha! Excuse me. Excuse me.
Let me put that on real quick. Come on, man.
Come on,
Is he shitting me or you kidding me?
Well, that's a difficult fashion take because obviously, like we're in an age where a lot of things are synthetic or like
I think there's so many like.
That's a deep. Like, how do you even?
Yeah.
I mean, it's like a
How do
rain
you even-
jacket is going to, unless it's wax cotton, it's going to be made of synthetic
Yeah,
fabrics,
right.
you know?
And then
Yeah, which is
that's
very-
literally
yeah.
needed.
I think there's like again, it could use like,
It's-
I think there's more nuance to it.
Yeah, if you like,
know?
if you were to like specify, like, yes,
Yeah.
there's definitely, but like, it's hard to group in like synthetic fabrics in certain garments because like we kind of need it, like it's
What
like,
I would
like, what
say-
are you gonna?
If we take away technical garments are pretty much always better with synthetics. Like Olympic Stadium does not have a single fucking natural fiber in it.
Yeah.
But if we're talking like traditional garments, I think it's almost always better if it's a natural fiber. You
Yeah.
know, like
Yeah.
a sweater, I would rather it be, if we're like taking costs out of the equation, it's like I would rather it not be like a poly blend with cotton. I'd rather it be like cashmere,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
Or like if it's a pair of trousers, I'd rather it not be polyester. I'd rather it be cotton, you know?
Yeah.
Wool or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. So it depends on your style.
Yeah.
Like suiting, like a polyester suit looks like dog shit.
Oh yeah.
Every fucking time.
Yeah.
Wool suit, linen suit, silk suit.
I think sometimes like when you mix a poly in for functionality or
yeah. Or cost.
or cost.
Well,
or,
that's
like,
usually when
structure,
that's. I feel like
Yeah.
It's mainly
synthetic fabrics
yeah.
come in for cost, but like
That's true.
most of the time, like it's almost hard to tell. Like let's say 80-20
Yeah.
cotton poly sweater,
Yeah.
you won't tell the difference between 100% cotton.
Yeah.
So, but I feel like if you're made like most like Shein and
Yeah,
all that, would be
that's-
like like that's like of course like but there's plenty of like designer brands that use synthetic fabrics in there.
Yeah.
And even things that are more day to day.
Yeah, and if it's more like experimental and stuff, I would say, but I would say like if we're talking
like
like
to have like a stretch or what, like you
Yeah.
know, like if you're talking about.
I would say if we're talking traditional, but if we're talking about like just looks, I would say if we're talking like I would agree with the sentiment of it.
Yes, of course.
You know?
fully.
Yeah,
Yes.
I would agree with
Like if it's possible to have a natural,
I would prefer the natural.
Yes,
Yeah,
of course.
same,
But
yeah.
in once again, it's all in context and what
In the
what kind of-
function.
in the function
Yeah.
of it all.
Yeah. All right.
Good question, though.
That is-
yeah, that's a
these
good
are
one.
great questions.
Yeah, no, really good.
Do you have questions too.
I still have
right?
a few. But yeah, that'll be for the last round though.
Oh, yeah, wait. So this round's called the lemonade. This one's called lemonade.
This is lemonade.
This is
So it's Brutal and lemonade. We're on lemonade.
Right.
Interesting.
Project
Okay.
Lemonade.
From Justin Campbell. Shout out Justin. He was my roommate.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Demna and his consequences have been a disaster for the fashion industry as a whole.
By consequences, like we're
Because of what happened recently.
I think
Is
it's
he
more of
talking
a
about-
general take on like
Everything
from
that
Vetements
he's
to
done.
now the ripple
like the
effect
irony and
of
everything.
Demna.
Of like irony fashion. Would you say that?
Yeah, I kind
I
of think
guess
that's
that's what it
the
is.
implication.
Yeah.
Well, I guess
Yeah.
I guess if you think, yeah, like Demna
and like very
has-
literal, ironic.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like he
Like,
has
it's not-
changed
not-
the landscape of the fashion
Yes, yeah.
industry.
But in a
But-
negative, like, do you think it was like he's had an overall negative impact?
You can't view. I feel like it's hard to view things in any capacity as negative because, especially in fashion, because fashion always goes through changes and evolution. There's sometimes it's bad, sometimes it's good, but it's
But
hard
at the end of the
to
day,
judge
that's
in.
subjective, yeah.
It's hard to judge in right now. Like maybe we could look back on it and then make a decision, but right now it's hard to say. I think Balenciaga, yeah, just they've been like their recent collections have been like really, I think
Yeah.
it speaks to like a lot of people, like, and
Yeah.
people want to wear Balenciaga, and it's like I think it's the hottest brand. If I'm not mistaken, right? It's been the
Yeah.
hottest brand
them
for like
Bottega.
the last.
Yeah, them and Bottega.
They're like and Gucci's up there from like the last 2 quarters. I think. I
Is
think.
that all Karen?
Yes.
That's crazy.
Is Bottega Karen? I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. But I think Demna takes a lot of cues from when he was working with Margiela because like that irony is really embedded in Margiela's work. He didn't take it as like off the deep end as Demna did, but like I think they both have the same like wits about themselves to like make this change in a fashion landscape that's like so like traditional and like they have their own narrative. They just want to kind of like flip it on its back and like make it their own.
That's
you know?
actually
Like,
such a good.
yeah.
Such a good.
Like I think they just
example.
like changing the pace of everything.
I think with modern, like, in nowadays, like, Margiela, like, in his time, yeah, like, what he did was already pushing boundaries, but now in, like, 2022, there's so many things that, like, like, it's hard to, like, make a statement now, because there's just so many crazy
It's a lot more
things. that-
noise.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think he had to push things much further to make, like, a reaction out of it.
I think like what I would say with Demna is I kind of wish he wasn't as big as he is
Because you're still
think,
like niche a bit.
yeah, because I think
Now
and,
he's like the Godfather.
yeah,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
it's and like not for the sake of like you said, it's like they're like the most Googled brand.
Yeah.
And it's like not even for the sake of like, oh, like I wish not as many people knew of him. Like
Yeah, not
I'm not like
gatekeeping,
I'm not like I don't. I
You
think
don't
I
even
own a
wear
single.
Balenciaga.
Do you feel like he shouldn't be like at the forefront?
Yes, and that's
Like
because
pushing fashion forward kind of
and that's
thing?
because
He
like
is.
I think I mean like and this is discounting like recent controversies
Mm-hmm.
but if we're just talking about like his general approach of having a very very literal, very on the nose and often satirical approach to fashion, and with like a lot of class commentary within it, especially kind of often making fun of his own clientele and who's buying Balenciaga, and like who's buying the shit, like you said, like who's buying the logo tees.
Exactly.
Like there's a commentary there, but I also think that because he is like at the helm of a ship that is so monolithic and huge and billion-dollar generating, it's impossible for that commentary to really stick.
Yeah.
You
or
know,
resonate,
because
or for
at the end
people
of the
to
day,
care,
it's still
yeah.
a business.
Yeah.
Whereas
Because
right
they're
now
so-
it's just like fetishized. It's like, oh my god, he's
Yeah.
so funny. I'm gonna go still spend $1,000 on a t-shirt.
It's like doesn't have the same effect.
Yeah,
or
whereas,
what
like,
he's trying to do.
I think
There
some
are
people
more-
don't even care. Like a lot of
Oh,
people.
no, they don't give
yeah,
a
like
shit.
he
Yeah.
lost it
Yeah.
lost its kind of
It's luster. Whereas like I think in order for someone to actually have like to use fashion as a medium to have a more impactful take on society, especially from like a class perspective.
Yeah.
I think like for example like Carol Christian Pole.
Yeah.
Like very niche, very small. I don't know a lot about him, like disclaimer, but I know that like a lot of the subject he's approached a lot has been like confronting the brutality of fashion
Yeah, yeah.
with like the horse vein dye stuff and
Yeah,
saying
yeah.
like you're gonna wear leather, you're gonna be confronted with the brutality of that.
Yeah.
That's not something that can be scaled to mass scale. So like like, but that commentary still exists in its purity and
Yeah.
can have an effect. Whereas now it's like, no matter how brutal or literal Demna is with his commentary, it's not gonna hit anybody's ears, I don't think. You know, so it's like, I feel like he would be better off in a smaller, more
like
nimble ship.
Yeah, like back at Vetmar if he'd wanted to.
Yeah, because right now it's just making more money.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But I have a question for you guys. Do you think like since Demna like stepped away from Vetma, and then like now Balenciaga's doing the haute couture again, and he's like going back like and his actually beautiful collection and like really referencing like designs
Like
from like the
Cristobal,
like really like he's definitely a student of like of the like he's
like
a student and
pure fashion,
and do you feel like maybe he's like stepped even away like a bit away from like the like his like kind of satirical?
I think when he does the haute couture,
but because like the fact that he left
that
Vetma
provides the balance. That's like I think.
But now he left Vetma, so now and then it's like so now he's full Balenciaga, and then he does the haute couture. So now it's like, is he like doing less of the satirical like?
I think it's still the balancing act because I feel like the haute couture shows like, listen, I'm still able to do this.
That's so true. And then you think,
and then the satirical is like,
I mean, at the end of the day, like he's an employee of Kering.
Yeah,
you know? Like he's got his bag.
Exactly. Yeah. I think it's a similar thing to like how if you compare the two times, right? Like when Margiela back in his time was like, oh, I'm not gonna take interviews.
Yeah.
Like, I rather not like comment
Not
on
be
things.
public at all.
Yeah. People were like, what the fuck, like why, like give us more. Demna now, him doing that when he doesn't give interviews or he gives small commentaries, it's like, yeah, sure, some of the people in the community are like, oh my god, please give us more.
Yeah.
But the surface level of people, they're like, we don't give a fuck. Like they don't care about the reasoning behind the collection. They just want to buy $1,000 hoodie.
I think like how Nolan said, it's like it's just like Balenciaga is just this.
Yeah, it's a giant. You know,
just a giant. It's like
it's a type.
Yeah, and like no matter, and even just to say like with what happened recently.
Yeah.
Like it's horrible. Like that. It's like this is like a serious thing.
Yeah.
But like most probably Balenciaga's gonna like probably like make it through this.
Oh,
and
no,
it's
yeah,
like
no.
And
no
it's like it is a serious.
no
Anyways,
shock.
I'm not gonna. You know, you can. Everybody has their own opinion on it. Like I think it was bad. You know.
I think universally
well, I think we all agree. We all think that.
Yeah,
we all think that. But like, anyways, because like we all in the circles of like conversations, like like how badly is this gonna affect Balenciaga? That's the question.
Yeah,
it's like as this
brands,
beast, like what do you
like? They'll and like that's. I think that's the fact that like kind of defines the question of like. I mean, one, it's like the fact that something like that isn't actually really going to affect their bottom line speaks to how much of a titan they are.
Yeah,
you know.
I guess we'll see, right? I mean, it's hard to say now, but we'll see.
I think you can already tell. Like, it's not like retailers have like renounced, dropped them. No, it's like, and I think it goes back. I think like the way I would sum it up is I think because the question said like Demna is essentially a net negative to fashion. I don't think I know enough about because I don't pay a lot of attention to like high fashion. But I would say in general like I'd say the negative impact Demna has had is that as being probably one of the most forefront satirical fashion creators to have ever existed, you know, the designer that's had the most eyes on them in a satirical fashion, I think he's turned satire and fashion, it's become like a postmodern approach where now it's like it doesn't matter how much you slap the consumer in the face. Exactly, it's becoming what it is.
Yes.
So you know, it's like
I agree.
So I think that's kind of the net negative is that now it's sort of dulling the blade of satire as a critique. You know, because it's still
to like fight classism and all that, and now it's just become just blending into the
Yeah.
And I guess like all design, like it's happened in the past, and like it's like things just because the fashion industry definitely has a lot of flaws, you know.
Yeah, like anything.
And all the like anything, and it's like and all these things just end up being
more
than a lot, and like it sucks because a lot of things do end up just kind of slowly just fade, like you know, movements in fashion always end up just fading away, and hopefully there's change like that sticks sooner or later. But yeah, Demna, you know, you can't disrespect, like, you know what I mean, like he's a I would say, he's a genius, you know, he's done his, there's nothing
he's undeniably talented.
And there's nothing you could say about that, so shut the Demon at the end of the day. But that's a great question too.
No, that is a great question for sure.
Shout out Justin. Do your fucking dishes. Jound is for hype beast office workers.
I really like how large Jound got.
Oh, the Jound hate is real.
Because the Jound hate is so real. Like I remember, like John was talking to us about like how he stepped into the comment section one time. Like some person was like, "This is so simple. I can't believe someone would pay this much money." It's like it's the point, you know. Like it's not supposed to be a fashion brand. It's literally like it's like an art studio.
Yeah.
Like you know, it's just like it's supposed to be what it is. It's like simplicity is in the DNA of the brand.
Yeah,
You know,
and it's funny, you know, going back on a lot of things we've spoken about tonight. It's funny because John gets so much hate. But he's actually one of the people that are putting like quality and quality, just quality. Actually, like he's not trying to. And it's funny because in his simplicity and branding is also very makes you think a bit of like, you know, Tom Sachs. You know how
Tom Sachs.
Tom Sachs. Tom Sachs.
No, it's all good.
How he's very like meticulous too in his like approach and his like studio. Because I remember I was looking at the Frank Ocean zine, the blonded zine, and there's like a little feature on him and his studio, and it's like they have like all these like specific colors. Like it's like this is the only color. It's like I forget the exact. Anyways, and I think John has that similar approach of like, you know, it's like things are very specific.
Yeah. No, because I remember.
And it's like it should be appreciative. Yeah. You should appreciate the simplicity of it. You know,
because a lot of people just see it for what it is. It's like, oh, it's a brown, green, and white pair of Vans. But like when I told you the story when I was in McDonald's and Justin was there.
Yeah.
The guy that ran down, and then he was fucking like eating. It's not a Blizzard. It's a
McFlurry.
McFlurry. And he was just chilling there, and he's like, "Oh, what's up?" Like, we were just talking, and then I was telling him like, "Yo, like the Vans were fucking sick. Like, this is like back when they dropped." And he's like, "Yo, thank you." He's like, "Yeah, it took me a fucking long time to pick the green because he's like, which one is your favorite?" I was like, "The green." And he's like, "Yeah,
everybody's favorite."
Yeah, everyone's favorite is the green. He's like, "Yeah, it took me like I think like I don't even remember what I quoted from it, but he's like I think like 8 months to pick the green or something."
Yeah.
But like people aren't gonna think about him picking a green for 8 months. They're just like it's a green, white, and brown pair of Vans, you know. But it's like at the end of the day, it's like how meticulous you want to treat your art, even if it's super simple. You know, it's like some people could see a painting with a black circle and be like, "This is fucking stupid. Why would I pay $3 million?"
Yeah, compared to like angels and demons, like, you know, like Michelangelo, you're like Renaissance, like what's the, you know?
Yeah, that versus Mondrian. But like I'd say, I mean, like, I like there's an undeniable markup for Jound, you know? Like they do, I'd say like I give them credit for the fact that like they, with every collaboration, it is clearly well thought out. I think like the separation from Tom Sachs, I think is like Tom Sachs is definitely more of an experimental thing.
Yes,
but in terms of like the idea of
the ideology of
the idea that like there are probably things behind the scenes that you don't realize maybe how much thought went into something.
That was my,
you know,
exactly.
And like how much time, because a lot of people don't realize with a lot of creative endeavors, especially if they haven't been involved in something similar, is that like something as simple as like picking a green or finding the right reference garment can take months. You know,
like specs.
Yeah, like it's, you know, it's
like
there's a lot.
I couldn't imagine like the archive of like 90s sports athleisure that they have, you know what I mean?
To go
like,
through and find the right.
And he mentions that a lot. He mentions that a lot. Like when he drops
like how
like,
long it's taken to like get the exact spun woven like fleece for a specific crew neck that they're trying to develop. It's like to get those like 1-to-1 parallels for how things used to be in the 90s versus like how it is now is like that's not an easy task to do, you know? So it's like, some people care about that, some people don't, and
there's a separation there too versus like what does the brand do versus how do people take it, you know? Because it's like, like the thought with the, you know, the green for the Vans, for example, you know? But we were talking about yesterday, it's like, are those Vans worth 5 bands? Fuck no. Like, you know, like, that's fucking crazy. They're, you know, like, so, and that's the difference between like he didn't retail them at that much.
No, but
that's just what people did
created
with that. So if like this, to me, feels like more of a commentary on like the people that consume it, you know? Like the people that are, you know, buying Jound off like StockX for like 3 times retail. And it's like, like I don't disagree that there's a lot of people that like buy it because it's like a more subtle flex and they want to, you know, like be a little in the know.
And be like a hidden NY warrior. So
but like I still don't hate like, you know, yeah, I don't hate the brand in and of itself, and I think it definitely gets a little more hate than it deserves.
Yeah.
But that I think most of that hate comes from like the people that are consuming it, because there are a lot of douchebags who are buying it just to like flex that their white tea is down.
But I feel like I also like to view Jound as having like a pretty loyal following and like people.
But I think that's
because we're from
being
Montreal.
in Montreal.
Yeah.
Like
I'm a big
Montreal.
Yeah.
You see that there's a difference, because in Montreal it's different. It's like Dime.
Yeah.
You know, like if you like Dime outside of Montreal is very different than Dime within Montreal.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, but like, for sure, I definitely agree.
Because like if I wear, like for example, we wear the Vans outside of Montreal.
Yeah.
Where they think we know Lil Yachty. Yeah. That's what it is. You know what I mean? It's like, but you wear them here. They're like, oh, you're with this shit.
I guess you're right, but like,
like,
I guess like the people like you know, like me and our friends have a big appreciation for Jound, and I guess it's because we have a better understanding of like what they do. Yeah, exactly.
It's
so
like if you saw it rise versus
Yeah.
someone like from LA who just saw it when it started popping off on their like you know, explore page. You know?
Yeah, that's so true. I guess my perspective is like super like skewed to a certain and like anyways, I'm a big Jound supporter. So
I think we all are.
we all are.
Sure.
We all love Jound. But it's fair, you know, it's valid
For sure.
that aspect. But I feel like the thing is with social media and things nowadays, like people, it's like it becomes cool to like hate or like not hate, but it's like just like
outrage
now
culture,
it's like with Jound, it's like now just because it's like a joke in the comments, people just talk shit just to talk shit, just to say something.
Yeah.
And it might not even be their actual opinion.
So
just because it's like
Yeah.
just become like, let's joke about, but people are still lining up to buy it. You know what I mean? And the same people that might comment that just bought the shoe, you know? So.
Oh, here we got one. Leather pants are actually hideous.
I disagree.
From
I disagree,
Raul
dog.
Fernandez.
I love.
I disagree, bro. I have a vintage. I mean, I have a vintage pair. They're like like motorbike pants. No, but anyways, they're like leather
leather pants,
and they're like lined with like a just a soft. Yeah, I love leather pants.
I love leather pants.
L.
Especially in the winter.
Yeah.
Especially in the winter,
Yeah.
it looks fly with like a puffer or something. It looks good. Like little contrast, like a nylon with the leather. Looks fire.
Do you even destroy lonely, man? Come on, man.
Fucking.
Even like a wax denim has that like leather look.
Yeah, see, I got a pair of like wax chinos that I have downstairs. Yeah, it looks.
Harry just got the new.
The St. Woods ones are fire.
The St. Woods wax denim.
yeah.
Just sick.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I was looking at them yesterday. I was like, bro, I was like, let me see those for a day. Yo, bro. Leather, baby. Come on, leather pants. Come on, especially once again, Montrealers love leather. It's like we're not playing with leather jackets. We don't play with the vintage Danier. We don't play with Danier. We don't play.
On
Rest in
every
peace.
corner of the block. Like
I've been wearing one today because it's warm today in Montreal, so we're lucky.
Get the Pelly.
The Pele.
Two-tone Pelly. Fear of God Essentials isn't essentials. It literally does the same as a BOGO. For like 95% of essentials, I totally agree. It's like completely redundant. There are a couple, I've got like, you were there. I got one knit from essentials that I like. It only had like one rubber tag at the back, which I ripped off.
Yeah, seam rip, quick.
And then there's like the overcoat. There's like a couple okay pieces.
Yeah.
Most of it though, essentials.
Yeah.
It's like, this is a nice garment. Like it fits nice and it's, you know, good quality. And like, why did you have to?
I think because it's like a play on. It's not even a play. It's just like a
Like, it's a flex
commentary
thing. Like,
on
people
like
wear it to
consumers.
flex.
Like people like to feel that brand association. Like the
To
average,
be
the
like,
average consumer.
I could wear a
I am
designer
this.
brand. I could afford
Yeah.
even though
Like you
whatever,
belong
so.
to something and it's affordable, but then at the same time, not everyone could get it because
It's in a weird realm of affordable.
Yeah.
It's like you could like almost anybody could get it if they wanted to save for it.
Yeah.
But it is not objectively cheap or affordable. You know, it's like
exactly. So it's like that
it is
association
higher
thing.
end. Yeah.
There definitely is like some pieces, and like I feel like their collections are like growing now because of its popularity.
Yeah,
so
they
now
do
they
have
have like
some nice,
like I
solid
saw they
pieces.
did like now they have a denim, and like it looks. I was actually like thinking of trying on a pair because
They
like
had a
once
denim
again,
jacket.
it's
It
more
was sick fun.
and it's more affordable. I was like, oh, maybe I'm booking Essence appointment and try the denims
Yeah.
on. It's like a light wash, like so like if they do like a long trench, if they move into like getting away from like the tracks.
Yeah.
Like
and just
like
like
the
saying
crew neck.
essentials.
Yeah, and just like
Screaming it,
and having
yeah.
like more of an affordable price, like that would be dope.
Yeah.
I feel like that's
Because
exciting.
I don't want
would-
someone to know it's essentials.
Yes,
That's why I took
exactly.
all the branding off.
But then that's the thing. You know what's funny is like there's so many people that are like, I need
someone to
that.
know.
Like
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And that's how a lot of people approach
Yeah.
it. You know, it's like they just
And
want
fashion in general, most people
flex.
care about what they wear and all that. It's like you don't. Yeah, it's like, or most people who are truly into fashion are more for like the pieces and like the story behind it and the like the
Purity,
craftsmanship
yeah.
and all that and then more people who are like first introduced to fashion, they just want to show logos, show branding, and that's how they feel like kind of accepted in the community because it's like they could show that as a visual statement rather than like the quality or like someone knowing what you're wearing.
Yeah. Chapter 2.
That's all of them.
It's bad luck to cheers with a empty wine glass, Nolan, but
There's
It's
a couple
not
of
empty.
drops.
okay, as long as it's not a gay, alright. Vino
Vino de leche.
Vino?
Dolce de leche.
Hey, wait, I need to spell it. Wait, let me see. Vino.
Yeah.
So it's from Sicily.
I do love me some Italian wines.
Drink. I haven't tried any of these grapes. I don't know.
Which grapes are there?
Grenache.
I've had this one before.
Oh yeah, wait. Alicante.
Alicante.
Minella and Gris.
Those first two I haven't.
What is it? Is there any like little taking made from?
Also
Taking
overexposed.
some very old vines. Are we filming?
Yeah.
Okay. So.
Yeah. And I mean, I'm personally a fan of like rosés. This is more on the ambery side of a rosé, I would say.
It's a nice color.
Good color.
Oh, so some interesting information. There's only 1,000 bottles made of this.
Ooh.
What?
Limited.
That's dope.
Classy, interesting, and volcanic. So it's actually made from old vine, which is actually common practice. Not common practice, but like some natural wines. Sometimes they'll try to like revive old grapes and some grapes that haven't been used in a long time. So like sometimes natural wine will come from like old vines because actually in general winemaking, there's a term we say in French, vigneron. And a vigneron is someone who grows the grapes and makes the wine from it, but actually a lot of winemakers, they'll buy grapes and sometimes from different farms even. So they'll have grapes from like this place.
Maybe
So
like a combination.
so which is an interesting kind of
This is great. You know what's? It's kind of deceiving because it smells like a cheap rosé, but you know it's like such quality. You know what I mean? Like it's so sweet.
Get a
and,
bit like
You know what someone-
apricot on the
I'm gonna tell you guys
Like a
right now,
dessert
Karen.
wine.
You know what they say here,
What?
which makes so much sense to what you're saying.
What?
It says like it actually smell like a rosé champagne, which is so true.
Yeah.
It's almost like apple, like that champagne, like an apple, like.
That's nice.
Oh yeah, that's really nice.
It says one of the highest vineyards in Europe,
This is really
1,300
nice.
meters above sea level. It's quite interesting.
Yeah.
I like
Very
this.
old
No, this is
vines.
really good. One of the more interesting like natural wines.
Yeah, it's definitely. I would definitely say they're definitely going for the more like approach of almost like a classical approach, you know, to like it's anyways, it's like very high quality. This is very like elegant
like
natural
the high,
wine.
like the
elegant.
high, like one of the more higher quality rosés I've had because
Yes.
a lot of them just
Yes,
take
very, very
taste
high quality.
Cheap.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is good though.
Very high quality.
Yeah, without having to pay like a lot of people I feel like try to go for a rosé, they pay a lot of money for it and then it's still mediocre.
Very good.
This is good. Yeah, very good. All right, yeah. So I think I have
Chapter 3.
This is chapter 3. This is high quality rosé.
Chapter 3.
Oh, what is it? Vino
Delice.
Vini di Lice.
which is a good one.
So you guys, we got rapid fire questions. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8
Okay.
rapid fire questions. We're gonna go through them, give our takes because we only have 20 minutes on the camera. We're gonna try and put it all together. First one: the word archive gets thrown around too much, and it's becoming the new hypebeast.
Yeah.
Fully agree. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
People are like using the word out of context.
yeah.
Archive is something that is dedicated curation. Archiving isn't just like owning a piece of clothing, but it's like if you're calling yourself an archivist, you're documenting the history behind it outside of just fashion. Archiving is a thing. People do it with rare books, they do it with fashion. That still applies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of people just like slap it on like anything that's earlier than 2010 and like Helmut Lang number 9.
Yeah.
You know.
And does it? I don't know if this is true, but I feel like like people like the archive kind of like it's also associated with pieces that maybe are a bit more rare. It could be like from like runway or something. It's like meant to be more of like a unique piece and not just like, you know, like you said, like years obviously important, but like to me I think of like you know 1999 like, you know, RAF or like, you know, early you know, that's like stuff that's like considered to be like archive piece. You know what I mean?
Archive worthy.
It's significant. Yeah, like there's significance to it, not just that it came from a designer from a specific era, but that it like had like something can be archived and it can be 2017, you know.
Yeah, I think it's like if it's definitive of the designer's like story. Yeah. It's like for example like Rap's like last collection.
There'll probably be some
like will probably be like archive worthy because it's like the last of his offerings, right? Or like, but like some things in 2020 might not be deemed that because like it was not one of his like more defining years. You know?
It's become separate from its like definition. So I would say it's definitely overused because like what it means in definition is something that is like kept in, you know, for reference, for historical significance, whereas right now people associate it with a certain amount of Dutch and Japanese designers from the mid 1990s to the early 2000s. You know.
Okay, next one is people who say proportions only think of big pants and short tops and don't actually understand.
Well, I feel like it's a bit unfair to say because to understand proportions, like you probably need to like have studied design and like understand like, you know, that because I mean obviously with the way people think of proportions as like on general knowledge, like it's like you're gonna think of it maybe like in that perspective, but like obviously proportions could be looked at in like architecture and like things like that, so it's like not just like something that's super like easy to understand maybe like
things like add up to like it's I keep on saying this, but it's like subjectively if it adds up to you and like the equation makes sense with the outfit, if like this half adds with this half and it looks proportional, then it kind of makes sense to the individual that's carrying the fit, right? So I don't know. Yeah,
it's about like your particular body. Like, for me, it's like most tops are too long on me, you know. So like,
and that's like a I feel like everybody, you know what I mean. Most I feel like feel the same way. I think you feel the same way too. T-shirts are always too long. In my opinion. For sure.
It depends on it depends on your body though, for sure. Makes sense. People try to justify purchases instead of just admitting that sometimes trends are just fun.
I feel like everybody wants to justify
purchases.
Things that they or like anything that costs like a decent amount of money. And one thing that goes back to like what you prefer to spend your money on, you know. So if you spend most of your money on clothing, then you know I think that's justifiable within like reason. But definitely trend. I think people like should be more conscious of spending based on like their likes instead of spending like based on trend. You know what I mean? Because then it's like that's when you feel like you need to defend your purchase. You know what I mean?
Like
and that's why people probably
know subconsciously. It's like
because you're trying to.
Why you're trying to defend.
Exactly. Sometimes you don't need to justify your purchase if you made the right purchase.
And like trends are fun, but like you have to be conscious of like how you're participating in them. Like if it means like, oh yeah, cowboy boots are in, so I'm gonna go down to the thrift and get some cowboy boots, cool. But like if you're buying 2 pairs of cowboy boots and a western belt and all the shit off Shein, like, you know, that's
not sustainable. You know, because like then you're just like every new thing that's in, you're just like participating, and it's like it's not feasible because you're just like this
one thing.
Just like disregarding everything else that you just done. Most IG brands have no originality and put out the same constant designs.
Bars.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, like, did you guys see like that photo of like Instagram brand fonts? It's like Sicko, Bjork, like typeface and like some random obscure name. And like, I mean, now even
hot model sex.
Like I was about to say, like going back to like
it's like that's gonna be the new thing is like post irony,
like the Y2K like ironic 90s style t-shirts, or like early 2000s,
like the tour, the Canal Street core.
So like, I mean, there's a bunch of stuff that is just.
I think it's like obviously with social media, it's like it's easy to like see what everybody's doing, and once again, I think brands like IG brands are like end up being like the type of brands that like just follow like fads and like aren't like super like individualistic and aren't trying to create something like unique to a certain extent, you know. And I think IG brands, it's like a super like. You could almost like coin that term. It's not like just because you have a brand and you market through Instagram doesn't mean it's a bad. I know what I know.
I can picture
exactly, and I think everybody's gonna like know exactly what we're talking about. So it's not to diss like anybody that like tries to like, that's creating a brand through Instagram. Like it makes, everybody does that now. It's just like, we know what we know the implications. The referral, you know.
Crop tops only look good on short guys.
I think they look good on short guys because, like we said, most tees are too long, especially for short guys. But they also look good on tall guys.
Yeah, I fully agree. I don't see why someone tall can't wear crop top.
Because also cropped is relative.
Yeah, because
like someone could put on a shirt that fits me perfectly.
Yeah.
But if they're 6'5", skinny, have the same like chest measurements, it's gonna be cropped on them.
Yeah, because you're gonna crop your tee to your proportions.
Yeah.
So it's not really because if the short guys 5'5".
Yeah.
Because naturally everyone wants to like
whatever.
the formula is like you want to have shorter torso, longer legs.
Yeah, to make you seem taller.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So like, and I think if you're naturally already tall and you have a shorter top,
you're
it's
just looking
like,
real tall.
Yeah, you're looking real tall. Like, that's it.
And maybe like a crop top.
Yeah.
A crop top for a taller guy might just be like cutting off like an inch on a t-shirt, you know.
Yeah.
And then for a shorter guy, it might be cutting like 3 inches off a t-shirt and making like an actual more of a crop look.
Yeah. TikTok micro trends are ruining fashion.
Yeah.
I feel like that applies more to women's wear. I feel like micro trends aren't as prevalent in men's wear.
Like, what would you say like would be a micro trend?
Like, I'm trying to think. Like, yeah, overall trends don't move as fast in menswear because, like, the majority of men aren't as quick to adopt something. You know, like, if you're talking about, like, the average, like, high school guy or 20-something guy, like, it takes them a while to warm up to the idea of switching from the thing that they've got comfortable with.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, I feel like in women's wear, you see things come in and out really quick, like... Like I don't even know because I don't even really pay attention to them, but like things like the baby tees and like the like Vivienne Westwood necklace and stuff. Like generally, I would agree with that sentiment of like micro trends in general are a negative.
I think the TikTok philosophy. I think it's ruined. Like I think it ruined fashion. It doesn't affect as much, but like for example, music. TikTok ruins music. TikTok ruins like movies or like things of like.
So like fashion
is like less. It's like I think it just takes people longer to adapt to it. I think men's TikTok, it's like actually I feel like sometimes I'll watch a men's like I used to watch Nolan before knowing Nolan, which is actually a funny story. Was I used to see his TikToks and I loved his content, which is so funny. And then I saw he's moving to Montreal, and then one time me and Kyron were in the club, and then we see Nolan. I'm like, let's go say what's up, because Kyron and Nolan already had like a mutual kind of admiration. And then I was like, let's go say what's up. And then since then, that was like in the summer, and we've been chilling since. So I feel like actually I've seen micro trends on TikTok, and I'm like, oh shit, that's actually dope. Like, you know, so I don't think it affects fashion as much as like other sectors or like industries, because music's like some things are being completely ruined.
But I do think like the idea, I think it depends on how you treat it. You know, it's like if you're treating microtrends as like something I want to like be a part of and throw out, then that's a negative. But if it's like just introducing you to a new concept that you really like and you're gonna like enjoy over a long period
and take it and take that and like use it maybe in like another like
if you're gonna use it outside of that micro trend, then like more power to you. But like in general,
Supreme lost relevancy.
I mean, if we're talking culturally, like that's undeniable. But like they still make stuff, I think, to the same design quality as before.
Do you think they can like come back to the same like 2016, 2015 forefront?
I don't know if anything ever will.
No,
because I think like that. I don't know. I mean, like they were at such a peak where like it didn't matter what they did. I don't think they can really come back to it, but I feel like that was just like a real defining moment where like I don't know if we'll ever come back to that state of like revering the literal and visible display of brands ever again. And Supreme was like the peak of that, but everybody was doing it. And it's like that hasn't really been done in the past to that degree. Where it was like so, like to the point where like you could put it on a brick, a crowbar. It didn't matter. I don't know if we'll ever see that again. You know?
I think it's very interesting to see if a brand is able to do something twice, like have a hot moment twice. Because like I think the only one I could think of right now is
Stussy,
Gucci, and Balenciaga. Because like Gucci was with Tom Ford, right? And then Alessandra. Balenciaga was with the Triple S, and then now, well, not so much now. And then with Stussy, it was like they had their hot moment with like prime streetwear,
like in the 90s,
the 90s, and then now, like with like the whole
I think everybody. It's obviously clear. Like a lot of brands have lost relevancy, but like a brand like Supreme, they're like cult followers.
Yeah.
Like that'll never change, but like obviously on a grand stage, you know, for sure they've lost relevance. But I think Supreme will always be Supreme, and people will always appreciate it for what it is. And like something like Supreme is like something that like always have its like relevance like in like culture and like looking back on things. But for sure, like we think about like today.
Yeah.
You know, maybe like, yeah, Supreme's like more of a cult. It's like a culture, like something set in stone. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like in a history. You know, but definitely.
No, that was the last one.
Wow.
That was it. We powered through those, guys.
Alrighty.
That shit. Thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it. Thanks for these guys for coming through. Had some good wine, good music, good
Thanks for
friends.
having us, brother.
Pleasure.
No music this time, but that's because I'm not trying to get copyrighted. But yeah.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say we should have had music, but that's fine.
Yeah.
I was like, why do we have some tracks in the background?
I'll have tracks overlaid while I'm editing this all together. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed it. We'll probably do another one if you guys really rock with it. But yeah, that's about it. Everyone follow both these guys.
Yeah, I'm gonna get my. You can follow Good Wine, Music, Friends on Instagram.
And that's it. That's it. Thank you guys. Peace.
Peace.
Next one.